mandatory for us to get this lease agreement, which would then create revenue to help offset the taxes. So we're getting a little return on that. And it's, if we own the building, we should at least maintain it.
No, I'm not
I
saying
mean,
it
I
should
understand
be
what you're saying.
maintained, but if we keep using the Good Neighbor Fund for incidentals, we're not gonna have enough for a capital improvement when the time comes.
Understood. Thank you. Any other comments on resolution? Okay. Go ahead.
Eric Greaser,
Yes.
you said 20 years.
More than 20 years.
More than 50 years.
Okay.
50?
I believe it.
No, Tom is
That's
an
it.
assessor.
That's it. He was an assessor back in the early 70s. Actually, maybe late 60s.
I mean, he's been on the Board of Assessment Review as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I was with him in the early 70s, the assessor, he was the chairman,
Okay.
and did a fine job. And it's a big loss that we're losing him.
So again, we'll be looking for somebody to fill that position on the Assessment Review Board. Any other comments on resolutions? If not, we'll move on. I'd like to make a motion, actually. As I said, Carol had resigned, so I need to make a motion to accept Carol Herdman's resignation as confidential bookkeeper and appoint Lynn Stewart as full-time confidential bookkeeper at $11.75 per hour.
I'll make that one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Lynn, thanks you. And we will be advertising for the other position probably starting tomorrow.
I make a motion to put Tina Rice in as,
That's not happening. That's not happening. With that, we're moving on to resolutions.
I second it.
You're leaving. What are you talking about?
Resolution 12217, resolution to pay all bills. Whereas the Department of Audit and Control require town boards to sign and inspect all vouchers coming into the town for payment to number and total amounts from each fund. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board authorize the following vouchers paid. General, $58,409.28. Highway, $182,320.23. Phoenicia Water, $9,988.85.15. Pine Hill Water, $698.58. Phoenicia Lights, $1,030.19. Chichester Lights, $152.31. Pine Hill Lights, $596.98 for a total of $253,092.72, and I move its adoption.
I second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution 12317, resolution adopting 2018 preliminary budget as the 2018 town budget. Whereas the town of Shandaken has prepared the 2018 preliminary budget for review. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Shandaken, following a public hearing held at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 8th, 2017, hereby adopts the 2018 preliminary budget as amended as the 2018 town budget for the town of Shandaken, and I move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes,
Board
I'd
Member
like
Malloy?
to...
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Supervisor Stanley?
Yes. Resolution 12417, award contract for repairs to town-owned building. Whereas the town of Shandaken owns a parcel of land with two structures located on it at 9 Mount Ave Maria Drive, in Phoenicia, New York, 12464, SBL number 14.13-1-24. And whereas the town board under resolutions 11916 and 12816 of 2016 had advertised for bidders to address repair and replacement of the basement entrance of the primary structure, but was never completed. And whereas said repair is still necessary and the town now has additional need to repair the handicap ramp attached to the same building, whereas the town, following due diligence and procurement policy, has found a contractor willing to perform the work in a timely manner, therefore be resolved the town of Shandaken Town Board wishes to accept the above bids for consideration, and be it further, be it further resolved that the town board authorize the town supervisor to contact DEP officials to retain permission for the use of the town of Shandaken's Good Neighbor Fund for such purpose. And be it yet further resolved that the town of Shandaken Town Board awards said basement entrance and handicap ramp repair project to Spirits Enterprises located at 679 West Saugerties Road, Saugerties, New York, 12477, for the price of $7,580, and incidental costs as may arise, and move its adoption.
I'll second that.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member Discofani?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley? So
Yes.
take that one line out, you look above.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
All right.
A resolution 125-17, supporting participation in the New York City funded flood buyout program for 18 Fox Hollow Road, Shandaken, New York. Whereas the town of Shandaken is subject to flooding that can damage property, close roads, disrupt traffic, and present a public health and safety hazard. And whereas at the request of local communities, funding from the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, DEP, is being made available to help property owners who qualify for the New York City funded flood buyout program, NYCFFBO, based on eligibility criteria in 5 categories. 1, hydraulic study properties, recommended by engineering analysis. 2, CWC flood hazard mitigation implementation program. 3, community approved stream management project. 4, erosion hazard. And 5, inundation hazard. I think I had a little too much of partying last night. And whereas the town of Shandaken has conducted a local flood analysis, LFA, including a hydraulic analysis of flooding in the town, and the LFA recommends certain properties that are subject to repetitive flood damages should be considered for flood buyout, and whereas the properties at 18 Fox Hollow Road, Shandaken, New York, 12480, section block 5.18-1-6, has been recommended for consideration for buyout for the LFA, and the town has been approached by Eric Hansen, estate of the owner of the properties, requested to participate in the NYCFFBO program under the hydraulic studies category, and whereas the town of Shandaken has the option to decline ownership of the properties, choosing instead that the city of New York own the property, and the town understands that the city-owned property will be managed by the city as an open space. Minimal management of the property will be performed, such as maintaining boundary lines, posting signs, and annually inspecting the property. And whereas at some point in the future, should the town of Shandaken want the properties actively managed, i.e. mowing, snow plowing, constructing and maintaining permissible recreational facilities, the city will consider issuing the town a revocable land use permit to address these activities or any other maintenance requested by the town. However, the DEP in its discretion has the right to approve or reject any such request. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the town of Shandaken Town Board approves Eric Hansen, estate of homeowner of 18 Fox Hollow Road, Shandaken, New York, 12480, to apply for the NYCFBO program to permanently remove this flood hazard risk, allowing the DEP to begin assisting in the real estate process. Be it further resolved, the town of Shandaken Town Board opts to allow the city of New York owning the properties as open space with the above acknowledged management conditions. I move its adoption.
I'll second that.
Can I ask a question? It's a little vague to me. Are we responsible to manage? It first says that if we want.
No, so what happens is if we say to them that we want to have like an intensive use for that parcel for fishing activities, and we'd like to see a parking lot on that property maintained, a path going to the stream, then the city would say, okay, well, you can do that, but you'll have to maintain that.
Okay.
That's it. So,
Right. So it's pretty much left wild then.
yeah, it just goes back, reverts back to wild nature.
Yeah.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member Discofani?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes. It was coffee.
I still try.
Resolution number 126-17. Resolution setting public hearing for logging permit. Whereas the town of Shandaken requires that any logging permit in excess of 100,000 board feet be approved through motion of the town board of Shandaken. And whereas Green Lumber Company, LLP, Walter Crum III, property SBL number 4-1-9 and 1-1-1, is requesting such a permit for removal of lumber on their property. Therefore, be Shandaken will hold a public hearing on said logging permit prior to its regular scheduled meeting on December 4th
It's 6:45,
at Town Hall.
Monday, December 4th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6:45.
at 6:45. 7209 U28 Shandaken to hear all comments for or against and move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member Discofani?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
Yes.
Resolution 12716, accept Assessment Board of Review resignation. Whereas Eric T. Greaser has submitted a resignation letter to the Town of Shandaken for his position on the Town of Shandaken Assessment Board of Review, and whereas the town would like to advertise for the opening Assessment Board of Review, which is a non-compensatory position. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of Shandaken hereby accept Eric Greaser's resignation from the Town of Shandaken Assessment Board of Review, and the town will immediately advertise for the vacant position, and I move its adoption.
I'll second that.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member Discofani?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
Yes.
Resolution 12917, whereas the town of Shandaken is a town of,
128.
what is it?
28.
Oh, I'm sorry.
128.
Oh. Did I lose one?
Where is he?
They take your time, I have to change the tape.
Uh-oh, changing the tape.
So I don't have 28. Oh, thanks. Just in time for the film.
Okay, hold on. Everybody freeze.
Showtime.
Just a minute, it's not coming.
They don't really want to watch this part anyway.
Depending on the
Ready?
All right.
All right. Resolution 12817, shared service agreement with Ulster County concerning county roads within the town of Shandaken. Whereas, County of Ulster having its principal place of business at 240 Fair Street, Kingston, New York, 12401, hereinafter referred to as the county, and the town of Shandaken having its principal place of business at the Shandaken Town Hall, Route 28, P.O. Box 134, Shandaken, New York, 12480, hereinafter referred to as the town. And whereas some county roads are so located that it is more efficient for the towns to perform snow plowing, sanding, and salting on the road, thereby greatly decreasing the cost to the county of the road maintenance performed. And whereas the parties agreed that a new cooperative agreement to be established hereby is in the best interest of the citizens of the respective municipalities, and whereas said new proposed cooperative agreement for the term of January 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2020 would concern shared services of the town to maintain roads of the county within its territorial jurisdiction as specifically authorized by Section 135A of the New York State Highway Law, and whereas New York State Municipal Law, Article 5G, authorizes the town to engage in said cooperative agreement with municipalities such as the county. And whereas the town board agrees that it is the best interest of the town to review the engage in such cooperative agreement. Now therefore be resolved by a majority of the town board that 1. The town supervisor, Robert A. Stanley, is authorized to engage in negotiations and discussions with the county to review and execute, if necessary, said shared services cooperative agreement for the period of January 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2020. And I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member Discofani?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
Yes. It's funny. I don't have 129. Oh, there it is, right there. I got it. 12917, Town Police Department. Whereas the town of Shandaken is a town of the second class, and whereas there is a town police department, and whereas an officer has been recommended by the police commissioners to be hired part-time, therefore be it resolved that pursuant to the town law of the state of New York, section 21B, the town board hereby appoints the following individuals as part-time police officer to receive compensation as indicated for officer completing training academy T. Individual remains responsible for associated costs of said training and education. Named Daniel Odendahl, compensation $9.70 per hour. And that said police officer shall have all powers conferred upon police officer by the general laws of the state of New York, including but not limited to, and such powers not inconsistent with law as hereinafter set forth. And that said police officer shall have all powers designated in section 2.20 of the criminal procedure law of the state of New York, and shall have the following special duties. 1, to enforce all local laws, ordinances, and regulations of the town of Shandaken. 2, to enforce the vehicle and traffic law of the state of New York to the extent that police officers may be so permitted by the general laws of the state of New York. And 3, to enforce such penal statutes as police officers are permitted to enforce pursuant to the general laws of the state of New York. And in furtherance of said special duties, police officers are hereby authorized the use of a town vehicle to be known as a police officer's vehicle, which may be equipped with emergency lights in accordance with applicable sections of the vehicle and traffic law, and may use the state and county radio to the extent permitted by the general laws of the state of New York, and may carry firearms while on duty in compliance with the general laws of the state of New York pertaining to police officers generally, and move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member DeScalani?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Shore?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes. Congratulations. Actually, I'd like, before we move on to open public comment, I'd like to take a moment to have Officer Odendahl sworn in for the town of Shandaken. If you would mind, Chief, join us.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Daniel Odendahl,
I, Daniel Odendahl,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of part-time police officer
and I will faithfully discharge the responsibilities of a part-time police officer
for the town of Shandaken
for the town of Shandaken
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
With that, we will move on to open public comment. I knew it was coming, Rick. Here we go.
A week ago Sunday, we had heavy rain. And we probably the first person to arrest me when I grabbed a hole. And I'm telling you, it's a serious thing. We gotta get in these creeks and dig them out. And you gotta call whoever it is, write the letters. But this is very important because we're gonna lose 4 or 5 roads up to Big Indian, Mount Tremper. Now you see this, Chuck, when you're riding around, don't you see this?
I was out there, as a matter of fact, that morning for a call for wires down, and there was almost a foot of water running across the Oliver Road. So it is a problem that needs to be addressed.
Well, again, we've tried addressing that specific area up in Oliveria. I know that, first off, kudos to Joyce with this alert system. Again, it was, I forget who was alluding to it before. I think it was Chief Whalen about the alert system that when we had near flood, we were able to contact near 700 people in an instant to say, hey, flood's coming. which we didn't have that capacity before. And again, if we improve cell service at some point, God knows when, but we can make that extend.
That's gonna happen.
Secondly, you know that we knew the rain was coming, and actually I believe wasn't it Monday night? Was it Monday, early Monday morning. I'm thinking Monday morning, because I know we were on the phone with each other at 2:30 to 3 in the morning, or 1 to 3. And I drove up to Albany. I saw it coming across the road. I was the one who called Steve Peterson in emergency management to let him know that it was flowing on the road. We watched the gauge. We see where it's going. We had a good take on what was happening, and we were hoping and praying. Again, it was getting really close in Phoenicia, believe me, we know. But that section up in Oliveria is a tough section. I mean, Chuck, you've driven it quite a bit. There's points when you're driving on that road and it seems like that stream is higher than the road and staying in its banks.
A lot of people,
It's just weird. It's
I've been
very
told
strange.
that there's not as much clearance from the top of your dais to the ground for the McKinley Hollow Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
That's about the amount of area that you have for the water to travel through there.
And
And then it gets down below there, and the gravel has built up a bar, and it's literally, it's easier to go down the road than it is to go down the creek bed.
well, one between that area and now Maben Hollow has been collecting a lot of debris. There was a whole big chunk of trees that got caught on the Maben Hollow Bridge and actually was flooding the Jennings property. But we've tried to figure out, we went through FEMA, we've gone through several applications with the watershed, communities, and there's really nothing that we can find that will address this properly. We know that Aaron Bennett lives up in that area. He's part of Ulster County Office of the Environment. He's tried to find ways to address this. We know it's a problem. We just don't know how we can attack it and with what funding. So, but we are aware of it, and we are diligent on it, Rick. So thank you
While
for
you're
your
up in
comment.
Alvaria, the Levine store that sits there, Taco,
Yeah, that's
when is that coming down?
that was closed on by Ulster County and is due to be demolished. And from our understanding, all these properties are due to be demolished by the close of December 31st this year. That's when the FEMA funding is.
Oh, you did?
What's that?
This week.
Okay.
This week. Okay, very good. Any other open public comments?
You were gonna talk about Verizon, maybe?
Oh, okay. Well, we've had some interest from Verizon as of late, the past few months. I know Faye's had contact with them as well. Verizon has reached out to a number of buildings and property owners throughout Phoenicia, and actually the town of Shandaken being one of them, where they've talked about not just looking at a possible cell tower, but what they're calling microcells, where they can place them attached to buildings, which help, I guess, cover a certain amount of area, not as much as a cell tower would, but it does extend their service area. The one in particular with the town that they're interested in was the water tower up on the mountain there, whatever. And so we had to get dimensions and heights and elevations and provide that to Verizon, and I know they've inquired with the library as well. Eric, did you say you had an inquiry at your place? I know the church had an inquiry. So there was a number of places throughout that they're looking at maybe doing something, but that would only be for Verizon. So we'd probably have to look at our telecommunications law and see if that needs to be amended in order for this to occur. But let's hope for the best. Anything that can extend service will be greatly
They're
appreciated.
also looking at a macro site too, which is a larger
Which would be a
coverage.
regular cell tower.
It would be a regular cell tower site, so.
And that would be.
Is AT&T interested in using the towers if Verizon doesn't?
Well, if they build a macro cell, as they were saying, if they build a macro cell or a regular cell tower, our town telecommunications code requires co-location by carriers. So if they were to put one up, it would be the hope that AT&T would want to extend it, because AT&T is the only singular carrier on this tower at Glenbrook Park. And it would be a way for them to easily extend their service down to Phoenicia. I don't know if they're on towers in Olive, but hopefully, yeah, they would have to co-locate on that cell tower with Verizon. Any other open comments? Ms. Rice.
Mrs. Wright.
Mrs. Rice.
First, I want to thank Timmy for all of his service.
Don't even yet.
I know he's
Thank
not,
you very
I'm
much.
just saying, it's Christmas month coming
Thank
up, and thank you, Timmy,
Thank you.
for all your work. And congratulations to Faye, because I don't think you welcomed her back.
I certainly did.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
No, for somebody to bust my chops
The
on
clapping.
details,
Kevin was just.
pay attention. You're kidding. So,
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
think she's trying to
Another
usher you
question
up.
over there.
Yes.
I'm not.
I'm sorry, could you introduce yourself?
I'm Vivian Welton. No, I didn't
And-
introduce myself to you yet,
No,
but I will.
and
I
you
have.
live in Phoenicia?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. About the cooperative agreement with the county for the road maintenance,
Yes.
it was mentioned that the county would benefit from the town taking over some of that activity, but it was not mentioned what the town would receive in return. I'm sure there is something that we would benefit from, but I'm just curious how that cooperative.
Yeah, we get monetary compensation.
That's what I was thinking, was in
And-
the budget, I think.
Yeah, so generally, again, one thing is like, so the two places we take care of are really like the road that goes up to Bel Air and Main Street Phoenicia. We have a town road, Kelly Road, all the way on the backside of Bel Air. So it's silly for us, we gotta go on the county road and then just go plow our road,
Right.
which is silly. So now we can actually drop the plow and go take care of that, and we get paid. So
Right.
it works for us.
So that's-
Eric doesn't like it because Bel Air is constantly calling when it's ski season, so that people can get out of there. I call sometimes.
So you actually have some of the monetary compensation.
Yeah, it's 24,000,
finalized, okay.
moving to $24,000. The other one is that Phoenician, anybody who's lived here for a long time can tell you that county, when they were maintaining Phoenicia Main Street, really it is, it took forever to get the snowbanks out of there. Now with the town doing it, it gets taken care of fairly quickly following a snowstorm, so we can get the sidewalks cleared off, and it's not just big piles of snow that people are stomping.
So are
been
we doing
beneficial for
Plank
us.
Road too?
No,
No, just Main.
just Main
Just
Street.
Main Street. Okay.
Any other open public comments? Okay, with that, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. We get quite a few names this month, I'm sorry, but in memory of Eleanor Gibbons, James Henry Longy,